Your pet can be more than just an animal. It can be a spiritual guide. Have you ever thought that the loving gaze from your dog isn't just friendship, but a call to something greater, something that transcends the tangible and touches the invisible? Today, we're diving into a surprising journey that could completely change how you see your animal companions and perhaps even yourself. Are you ready to open this mysterious door and discover the incredible spiritual connection between humans and dogs? If so, hit that like button, share this video, and comment on your experiences. It really helps our channel keep bringing content that awakens consciousness. The name that echoes in this wisdom is Edgar Cayce, a 20th century American prophet known for incredibly accurate predictions that shook everything from the world of medicine to spiritual philosophy. Few know, however, that Cayce also spoke about the profound link between humans and animals, especially dogs, revealing that this relationship is part of a larger mission, the global awakening of consciousness. In his words, animals aren't just companions, they are true spiritual collaborators guiding us to a new era of understanding life and being. Cayce wasn't just an ordinary psychic. His ability to identify illnesses, interpret dreams, and foresee future events made him a respected figure. His hidden messages, however, still hold secrets largely unexplored in our daily lives. Imagine what this means, that our relationship with dogs could be a fundamental piece in the evolution of our own soul. Curious to know more? Then stay with us, because we'll reveal not only what Cayce predicted, but also how it's happening now, right before your eyes. We live in turbulent times, full of global conflicts, environmental crises, and technological changes that seem to accelerate at an almost unimaginable speed. Amidst this turbulence, Edgar Cayce predicted there would be a vibrational shift, an energetic transformation that would lead humanity to a new way of perceiving reality. He warned that this transformation wouldn't be solitary, but a joint journey between humans and animals, a co-evolutionary partnership. You know that feeling that something is different in the air, that things can't go on as they always have? Well, this vibrational shift has affected not only Earth, but also the life forms that inhabit it, especially dogs. They seem to be more sensitive, more empathetic, almost as if they're tuning into new frequencies invisible to us. Their sounds, smells, their mere presence change our energy, and this isn't a coincidence. It's part of a larger process. We are at a historical moment where political and social crises force us to rethink our role on the planet. Have you ever wondered why animals, and especially dogs, have displayed behaviors that challenge traditional science? Are they omens of an awakening? Coincidence? Or perhaps signs that dogs are becoming our guides into the unknown? Today we'll explore these signs and share real stories, surprising accounts of dogs that know before calamities happen, or feel our pain as if it were their own. Imagine a dog that, out of nowhere, warns of an imminent storm, guiding its family to a safe place. Or that furry friend who seems to connect directly with our emotional state, offering comfort in the toughest times, when even words can't reach. These stories aren't rare. They are living examples that something deeper is at play. More than instincts, we're talking about intuitions and an almost telepathic empathy that links humans and dogs in an invisible yet palpable dance. Among many accounts, dogs that detect diseases before doctors do, those that prevent accidents, and even those that accompany their owners on silent spiritual journeys, stand out. Behind these actions, we could be facing abilities that transcend the physical, entering the realm of spirituality. Many experts today discuss this possibility, but what Edgar Cayce anticipated almost a century ago puts all of this into another perspective. It's not just isolated phenomena, but a collective process of raising planetary consciousness. The connection between you and your dog isn't accidental, nor mere friendship. Imagine this bond is part of a greater plan, where dogs play essential roles in a journey of transformation. What if I told you that this process can be divided into clear stages, each marked by advancements in perception, emotional healing, and even energetic communication? These stages form what we can call animal awakening, a phenomenon that is manifesting now and that can radically change how we experience life together. The first stage is emotional healing. Dogs began acting as invisible therapists, picking up on the inner state of those around them, offering comfort that goes beyond physical touch. They seem to absorb tensions and afflictions, alleviating invisible pains and even helping to overcome traumas. It's as if they have an emotional compass that identifies exactly what we need to regain balance. Next, we enter into telepathic communication, albeit silent for many. Many owners report feeling that their dogs intuitively know what they mean, without needing commands or verbal language. This communication goes beyond what we know. It's direct, instantaneous, and full of energetic nuances. It's a dialogue of souls, where emotions and intentions flow freely, strengthening the connection and trust between species. Finally, we have energetic clearing. Dogs have been seen as purifiers of environments and people, absorbing negative energies and helping to restore vibrational well-being. It's common to notice that a dog can change the atmosphere of a place just by its presence, making the environment lighter and more harmonious. This stage reinforces the spiritual role of these beings, indicating that they actively participate in maintaining the energetic balance on the planet. Each of these stages is a confirmation of the spiritual mission that dogs carry with them, a mission that links them to us through soul contracts and conscious incarnations. According to some traditions, just like humans, animals also make choices before being born, taking on specific commitments to aid in important learnings during their earthly passage. This means your dog isn't with you by chance. They were chosen to be here, guiding, teaching, and healing. Imagine there's an invisible connection, a pact that unites destinies and souls, where dogs and humans mutually support each other on unique spiritual journeys. These contracts would be the basis for the incredible affinities and synchronicity we perceive, explaining why some animals seem to understand our deepest desires, fears, and needs. It's a sacred bond, renewed every moment, that redefines the traditional concept of pet to a spiritual partner. The idea that humans are superior to animals is a paradigm we need to question deeply. For centuries, this hierarchical view has distanced our relationships and limited the potential for connection between species. The prophet Edgar Cayce, as well as many ancient teachings, challenge this perspective. He warns that our journey companions are not inferior, but co-creators and collaborators in the evolutionary process. This shift in perspective is fundamental for us to live in harmony, not as dominators, but as conscious partners. Believing in a hierarchy that places humans above animals creates invisible barriers that weaken empathy and limit a deep understanding of who our companions are. They have their own souls, intelligences, and missions, and a wisdom that often surpasses our rational comprehension. Freeing ourselves from this paradigm is making space for a new way of coexisting, where respect, admiration, and cooperation take the place of domination and control. So, how about starting to look at your dog with different eyes? We invite you to rethink your entire relationship with these incredible beings, opening yourself to listen, observe, and feel what they have to communicate, not just with barks and gestures, but with their soul. This transformation begins in your home, day to day, in the seemingly common routine that is, in fact, the setting for an inner revolution. That's it for today, but stay tuned because we still have much to unveil. Remember to leave your comment sharing what you've already noticed in your relationship with your pet. Like the video if you're enjoying this spiritual journey, and subscribe so you don't miss the next chapters of this story that can transform how you live and love. See you in the next topic, where we'll explore even more mysteries of animal awakening and their mission in the world. Have you ever felt that your dog is capable of something beyond what you can understand? That they see things you don't see, feel energies that escape your grasp, and act in ways that seem to carry a mysterious wisdom? What we're about to see in the next topics will deepen this idea even further. We'll unravel extraordinary phenomena linked to animals, understand the stages of awakening they experience, and, most importantly, discover the spiritual mission behind this unique connection. Get ready for a journey that will challenge your beliefs and renew your perception of what it means to be human and to be a friend to dogs. Animals, and especially dogs, exhibit some abilities so incredible that science still struggles to explain them. Did you know, for example, that dogs can detect serious diseases like cancer and diabetes even before symptoms appear? There are documented cases where the incredible sense of smell of these companions alerted their owners to the urgent need for medical attention. This isn't just a well-developed physical instinct. There's something deeper, a perception that transcends the boundaries of the body and reaches levels of almost mystical intuition. Furthermore, dogs and other animals have been silent witnesses to future events. There are touching accounts of dogs that, agitatedly, try to warn their families about imminent disasters, from earthquakes to devastating storms. They demonstrate a special sensitivity to environmental vibrational changes, as if they were antennas capable of picking up invisible signals that escape our limited human senses. This type of behavior points to the hypothesis of a much more advanced nonverbal communication, a kind of emotional telepathy that connects dogs, humans, and the world around them. But the most surprising thing of all is how much these animals can capture and reflect the emotional state of those around them. Have you noticed how a dog often seems to understand your sadness without needing words, offering their presence and affection exactly when you need it most? This is no mere coincidence. Studies indicate that dogs are able to read human body language, tone of voice, and even chemical emotional balance, reacting in a way that alleviates invisible pains and repressed emotions. This acute empathy, which transcends the physical, is a window into a deep spiritual connection, an exchange of energy and feeling that often goes unnoticed, but that can transform lives. Bringing all of this into a broader context, we can think of animal awakening as a process happening in stages, clear signs that these beings are evolving along with humanity. The first stage, as we mentioned, is emotional healing, where dogs act as silent therapists, helping to balance our inner state. The second stage is telepathic communication, which many owners have already experienced, but which still lacks widespread dissemination and understanding to become more evident. And the third stage is energetic clearing, a perhaps more subtle but equally powerful phenomenon. Each stage is like a rung on a vibrational ladder, inviting dogs and humans to climb together to a higher level of understanding and synchronicity. In emotional healing, the dog's constant presence in daily life eventually dissolves fears and insecurities, creating an environment conducive to personal growth. Telepathic communication, on the other hand, allows for a more direct and profound exchange, where intentions and needs are understood without barriers, strengthening the bond and trust. In energetic clearing, the influence of dogs becomes visible even in the physical environment, purifying negative emotions, restoring balance, and amplifying the feeling of harmony within the home. It's important to remember that these stages don't necessarily occur in a fixed order, nor in the same way for all animals. Each dog, like each human being, has its unique journey, and this coevolution respects the pace of surrender and discovery of each. What we can affirm with certainty, however, is that this process is happening, it is present, and it is a fundamental piece in the spiritual transformation our world is undergoing. And the underlying question is, what role is your dog playing in this process? What messages are they trying to convey in their gaze, in their gestures? This reflection is the invitation we extend to you. Now, let's better understand the spiritual mission of animals in this context. According to many spiritual teachings as well as Edgar Cayce's predictions, we are not alone in this transformation. Our animal friends also make conscious choices before being born, taking on contracts that link them to people, families, or even specific missions on the planet. This view invites us to perceive that we are all integrated parts of a larger plan, where every soul, whether human or animal, collaborates for the collective awakening. It's as if there's a hidden agenda where dogs are responsible not only for loyalty and companionship, but for guiding, protecting, and accelerating the evolution of their human partners. These spiritual contracts would, in fact, be soul commitments made before incarnation that enable unique, transformative, and often challenging experiences for both sides. Can you imagine the depth of such a bond? The responsibility and beauty of this connection? It's a sacred dance where each step refines the synchronicity between beings, and each moment of exchange strengthens the shared purpose. Moreover, some dogs are recognized as true healers, or light bearers, chosen to help in difficult situations, whether through the unconditional love they offer, the sensitivity they possess to detect energies, or even the ability to inform and warn about imminent dangers. This reinforces the idea that animal consciousness is much more complex and active than we imagine. They not only react to the environment, but are conscious agents of vibrational changes, connected to a spiritual network that transcends time and space. This perception completely transforms how we can relate to our four-legged friends. Instead of seeing them as simple pets, we begin to recognize them as partners, collaborators, and even guides in our spiritual journeys. This shift in perspective demands a renewed awareness of the value of every life, an expanded respect for their capacities and needs, and a loving surrender to the lessons they silently bring. However, this transformation of consciousness is neither simple nor automatic. It's an invitation that challenges patterns deeply rooted in our culture, the traditional paradigm that places humans as superior and absolute owners of animals. This view, rooted in centuries of domination and exploitation, creates a dividing line that hinders the recognition of our companions' souls and spiritual missions. When we free ourselves from this paradigm, we open the door to a more genuine coexistence, where spiritual equality can flourish. It's essential to question why our culture insists on hierarchizing species, reducing animals to objects or tools at our service. This view limits not only the potential of the connection, but also the capacity for joint learning, which is precisely what Cayce's prophecies suggest. He warned us that for the true evolution of consciousness, it's necessary to recognize the sacredness of all beings, abandoning judgment and domination, and embracing cooperation and mutual respect. This questioning isn't just philosophical. It has a direct impact on our daily lives and the environment we create for our friends. Recognizing the spiritual value of dogs, for example, changes how we care for them, how we respect their feelings, how we observe their signs, and how we open ourselves to learn what they have to teach. This new posture is the first step towards a new type of relationship, where love is the foundation, but consciousness is the cornerstone. So, if you have a dog, it's time to look more closely, to listen with your heart, and to establish a deeper communication. Start paying attention to the small gestures, the unexpected reactions, and even the moments when they seem to converse silently with you. Observe how they react to your feelings, how they seek to be close in difficult times, and how intuitively they seem to understand your inner world. The change begins in your home, in this daily encounter that can be much more than simple coexistence. It can be a portal of transformation. Allowing yourself to see your dog as a spiritual companion opens the way for a path of healing, learning, and mutual growth. You can create simple practices such as joint meditations, silent observation, or simply moments of full, wordless connection. This sensitivity to animal signs is a skill that can be cultivated and has the power to change your life and theirs forever. Reflect. How many times has your dog changed your mood just by being by your side? How many times have their seemingly simple actions brought comfort and meaning to your days? This is the essence of the invitation we want to extend to you, to awaken to the spiritual dimension of these bonds, to honor the mission of each being, and to build a coexistence based on collective consciousness. Leave your stories, experiences, and reflections on this spiritual connection with your animals in the comments. We want to know how this awakening has manifested in your life, and hear stories that can inspire others to open their hearts. If this content is changing your view, don't forget to like and share so more people can be part of this transformation movement. And of course, subscribe to follow the next videos, where we'll continue revealing incredible secrets of this journey. Humanity is on the verge of a great awakening, and our dog friends are here, side by side, as essential allies on this journey. Are you ready to open your eyes and heart to this new reality? The transformation begins within you and passes through the recognition of the spiritual value of life in all its forms. Allow yourself this experience. We are in this together. Have you ever noticed how the relationship between humans and animals can be much deeper than just companionship or affection? Today, we're going to continue discovering this spiritual connection that unites us and that has been neglected for too long. In this fourth phase of our journey, we invite you to reflect on how looking at our furry friends with renewed eyes can be a decisive step towards true transformation, breaking old paradigms that prevent us from growing together. The traditional paradigm that places humans above animals has dominated Western culture for centuries. This hierarchical view taught us, from childhood, that we are the superior species, holding control and dominion over all forms of life. But have you ever thought about the cost of this idea? The disconnection we've created with the world that sustains us, the loss of empathy with other souls, and, even more seriously, the closing of doors to fundamental lessons that could only come from this cooperation between species. Edgar Cayce, in his prophecies, deeply questioned this notion, warning that this arrogance could delay and even prevent the path of collective awakening. When we adopt this limited perspective, we create a barrier that shields our heart and mind from the wisdom embedded in our animal partners. They are evolved beings, endowed with an emotional and spiritual intelligence that often surpasses ours, but which is invisible to those who insist on seeing them merely as property or tools. The first step towards transformation is to recognize that the basis of this relationship cannot be possession, but respect, partnership, and gratitude. As we reevaluate this view, we realize that hierarchy was an artifice created to justify the exploitation, violence, and neglect of other species. This structure, besides being unjust, is self-limiting, as it prevents the flourishing of a collective consciousness that values interdependence and spiritual collaboration. Edgar Cayce suggested that only through humility and openness to true connection can we access the highest levels of understanding, both about ourselves and about the greater plan of existence. This criticism of the traditional paradigm challenges us to act differently. It invites us to cultivate a new relationship, where animals are seen as beings of light, holders of sacred missions, and active partners in evolution. It primarily encourages us to break the cycle of anthropocentrism, placing expanded consciousness at the center of our view, where all beings have a voice, value, and place. And this begins with small daily changes, which reverberate in attitudes, words, and choices. In practice, this means making space to listen and learn from animals, recognizing their needs, respecting their limits, and understanding their diverse languages. This posture transforms coexistence and promotes a genuine exchange of teachings, often silent but powerful. By ceasing to impose our wills and starting to listen, we create an environment conducive to mutual awakening, where both humans and dogs can evolve together in a process of spiritual growth. But this change doesn't happen only in theory. It needs to be lived daily, in our homes, in our conversations, and in moments of silence with our pets. Awareness begins when we open our eyes and heart to small actions, to gestures that reveal a world invisible to those who don't want to see. It's in this seemingly common routine that the power of awakening resides. How about practicing deep observation with your companion now? See how they react to different stimuli, how they perceive your energy, and how they respond to your emotions. This mindfulness is a direct path to a richer and truer spiritual connection. By doing this, you not only connect more with your dog, but you also create space for them to fulfill their spiritual missions by your side. This is the essence of a conscious relationship, based on exchange and respect. Meanwhile, in the world, we see signs that this transformation is happening on a larger scale. Many people are starting to perceive their pets in a distinct way, seeking to understand their emotional needs, their signals, and their wisdom. This collective movement is a response to the vibrational changes that Edgar Cayce predicted, an opening to a new planetary consciousness where alliances between species will be fundamental for the balance and healing of the planet. It's inspiring to think that each of us can be an agent of this change, starting in our homes and extending this vision to our communities. Practicing respect and listening with animals is also an act of resistance against old paradigms and a firm step towards a future where harmonious coexistence is the rule, not the exception. We are, together, the stage and actors of this story of transformation. The invitation I leave for you is clear. Let go of limiting beliefs and open your heart to a new perception. Instead of dominating, learn to walk side by side with your furry friend. Allow this experience to teach you about patience, unconditional love, and genuine spiritual connection. This is the bridge that will lead us to the next stage of human evolution. And speaking of practice, I want to share some simple tips that can help you begin this new approach. Start by dedicating a few minutes of your day to be fully present with your dog, without distractions, without rushing. Observe how they breathe, how they move their body, how they respond to your gaze. Try to feel their energy and notice nuances you may have never noticed before. Another powerful practice is to strengthen intuitive communication. Try to connect mentally with them, in silence, sending positive thoughts and opening yourself to receive impressions from them as well. It might seem strange at first, but with patience, this natural telepathic connection tends to intensify, creating a unique channel of energetic dialogue between you. Additionally, value moments of rest beside them, as often it is in shared silence that the deepest exchange happens. There's no need to talk, just to feel and be. Presence is the key word for this new phase of the relationship. It's worth remembering that each dog is unique, with its own history, personality, and rhythm, so respect their limits and be sensitive to the responses they offer. True love is patient and observant. And so, little by little, the transformation happens, strengthening this sacred bond. It is in this journey of discovery and care that we complete a cycle and prepare for the last part of our journey, the call to true awakening, an invitation for you, the viewer, to start acting and see your animal friend as a mirror of your own evolving soul. To conclude, I leave you with a question to reflect on deeply. Are you ready to see your animal companion with new eyes? To recognize in them a spiritual partner, a silent guide who can transform your life in surprising ways? Perhaps all the change you seek is precisely in this relationship that is part of your daily life, accessible, loyal, loving. If this idea resonates with you, be sure to share your experience in the comments. Strengthen the community we want to build here with your support, likes, and subscriptions. Together, we can expand this consciousness that will unite humans and animals on a new frequency of love, respect, and awakening. This is the call to awakening. May this journey transform not only how you see dogs, but your own consciousness and how you walk through the world. Thank you for being with us so far. See you soon, with much more ahead.